So what are cannabinoid receptors? Okay, so you got cannabinoids and you got cannabinoid receptors. I mean, cannabinoid is just active substances that are in marijuana, the plant itself, and then cannabinoid receptors are in the human body. So sea squirts, tiny nematodes, and all vertebrate species share the endocannabinoid system as an essential part of life and adaptation to environmental changes. So all vertebrate species share an endocannabinoid system. So we all have cannabinoid receptors, and there's two cannabinoid receptors in the human body, and the second one is the key to curing cancer. So you have a cannabinoid receptor number 1 and a cannabinoid receptor number 2. So you can actually cure cancer with the cannabinoid receptor number 2. Because cancer cells actually keep the cannabinoid receptor cell 2, and so you can get a cannabinoid that actually reminds the cell, if it becomes defective, that it has a self-destruct system, right? I think it was an Alien. They had like, you could, or Predator or something, you could self-destruct if you get into a situation that was sort of the Japanese. Didn't they have like a pill or something? They just bite down instead of giving any information to the enemy. They would just self-destruct, right? So the exact same thing happens with the cancer cell with the cannabinoid receptor number 2. While it may seem that we know a lot about cannabinoids, the estimated 20,000 scientific articles have just begun to shed light on the subject. So 20,000, there's a lot of information out there. Large gaps likely exist in our current understanding and the complexity of interactions between various cannabinoid cell type systems and individual organisms challenges scientists to think about physiology and health in new ways. The following brief overview summarizes what we do know. So, cannabinoid receptors are present throughout the body, embedded in cell membranes, and are believed to be more numerous than any other receptor system. So they're in the cell membranes, right? Embedded in cell membranes, and are believed to be more numerous than any other receptor system, right? So they're in the cell membranes. There are more of these receptors or any other things, right? Cannabinoid receptors and any other type of receptors. When cannabinoid receptors are stimulated, a variety of physiologic processes ensue. Researchers have identified 2 cannabinoid receptors: CB1, which is predominantly in the nervous system, right? I was talking about CB2, which is the key to curing cancer. CB1 is predominantly in the nervous system, connective tissues, gonads, glands, and organs. Okay, so CB1 is the nervous system, connective tissues, gonads, which would be your genitalia or your testicles or your ovaries, glands, and organs. So your nervous system, your connective tissues, I guess your tendons, right? Your tendons and your the other thing that's not a tendon, your tendons and your ligaments. So I think there's a connective tissues, right? Tendons, ligaments. So that's CB1. So they're basically throughout the body, so nervous system, your genitalia, they're in your glands, right? So your pituitary and your organs, heart, and so basically all over the place. And then the CB2 is predominantly found in the immune system and its associated structures. So CB2 is found in the immune system, and then in the immune system's primary structures. So what is in the immune system? I don't know. So I'm going to actually do a quick Google search on that, because that's where we're going to find the cure for cancer, right? So the immune system is a system of biological structures and processes within an organism that protects against disease. So how does your immune system work? We got how stuff works. Inside your body, there's an amazing protective mechanism called the immune system. It is designed to defend you against millions of bacteria, microbes, viruses, toxins, and parasites that would love to invade your body. To understand the power of the immune system, all you have to do is look at what happens to anything once it dies. That sounds gross, but it does show you how important your immune system is. When something dies, its immune system, along with everything else, shuts down. In a matter of hours, the body is invaded by all sorts of bacteria, microbes, parasites. None of these things are able to get in when your immune system was working, but the moment your immune system stops, the door is wide open. So if your immune system stops, you're a goner. Once you die, it only takes a few weeks for these organisms to completely dismantle your body and carry it away until all that's left is a skeleton. Obviously, your immune system is doing something amazing to keep all that dismantling from happening when you're alive. So bacteria, microbes, and parasites, right? So you have an immune system that is able to kill all these things or keep all these things out, right? So what all consists of immune system is what I was wanting to know. It says it's complex and intricate, but there are two good reasons for you to know more about it. It's fascinating. Okay, you're not telling me anything here. Your immune system works around the clock in thousands of different ways. It's mostly unnoticed. When you get a cut, all sorts of bacteria and viruses enter your body through the break in the skin. When you get a splinter, you have the sliver of wood as a foreign object inside your body. Your immune system responds and eliminates the invaders. When a mosquito bites you, you get a red, itchy bump. This, too, is a visible sign of your immune system at work. Each day you inhale thousands of germs that are floating in the air. Your immune system deals with them without a problem. Occasionally, a germ gets past the immune system and you catch a cold, get the flu, or worse. A cold or flu is a visible sign your immune system failed to stop the germ. Each day you also eat hundreds of germs. Again, most of these die in the saliva or the acid of the stomach. Occasionally, one gets through, causes food poisoning. There's normally a very visible effect of this breach in the immune system. Vomiting and diarrhea are two of the most common symptoms. Okay, so you kind of get that, right? So basically, keeping all the diseases out of your body. That's good. It's good to have the immune system. So I keep on going on. This is just an article from normal.org. Okay, so cannabinoid receptors, CB2, is predominantly in your immune system. So it's what fights off disease, bacteria, and the rest. Many tissues contain both CB1 and CB2 receptors, each linked to a different action. Researchers speculate that there may be a third cannabinoid receptor waiting to be discovered. So is there a CB3? Right? They said that there could be one. Endocannabinoids are the substances our bodies naturally make to stimulate these receptors. So let's say that again. Endocannabinoids are the substances our body naturally make to stimulate these receptors. So you're right. Okay, so you have these CB1 and CB2, these receptors that are stimulated by things that are marijuana, but our body actually creates the most well understood of these molecules are called anandamide and 2-arachidonoglycerol. Okay, so let's see. ANANDAMIDE. So anandamide, and then 2-arachidonoglycerol. Glycerol 2-AG. And then they got links that you can go to learn about what these fascinating molecules are. They're synthesized on demand from cell membrane. Arachidonic acid derivatives have a local effect and a short half-life before being degraded by the enzymes, fatty acids, amide hydrolase, FAAH, and monoacylglycerol lipase, MAGL. So phytocannabinoids are plant substances that stimulate cannabinoid receptors. So that would be pot. Pot is a phytocannabinoid. They're plant substances. So things that are within marijuana plants stimulate CB1 and CB2. THC is the most psychoactive and certainly the most famous of these substances, but other cannabinoids such as cannabidiol, cannabinol, CBN, CBD, and a whole bunch of other. There's like actually I think 9 of them that I know of. are gaining the interest of researchers due to the variety of healing properties. Most phytocannabinoids have been isolated from cannabis sativa. So you got what I told you. There's about 9, right? Phytocannabinoids. So these are going to be questions, right? So make sure, if I'm thinking about it like this, they're probably going to be like questions for the test. And yes, I do expect you to look at the questions and to think about them. I think that's how you learn. You ask the questions, then you answer. That's really all I'm doing. I'll ask the question, I'll Google it, and then I'll figure it out, and then I know what's going on. When I teach it, I have a better understanding, but I've read all this, and so I have a decent understanding already. So, okay. They've other medicinal herbs such as the Echinacea purpura have been found to contain non-psychoactive cannabinoids as well. So there's other actually things that have cannabinoids. It's not just marijuana. Cannabinoids are found in marijuana, but cannabinoids are found in other plants. And the one example that they had was the Echinacea purpura. Echinacea purpura. Okay. So, interesting, the marijuana plant also uses THC and other cannabinoids to promote its own health and prevent disease. Cannabinoids have antioxidant properties that protect the leaves and flowering structures from ultraviolet radiation. Cannabinoids neutralize the harmful free radicals generated by UV rays, protecting the cells. In humans, free radicals cause aging, cancer, and impaired healing. Free radicals. What? Free radicals cause aging, cancer, and impaired healing. So whatever free radicals are, when it comes to your body, they are they cause cancer. Free radicals. Free radicals cause cancer, aging, and impaired healing. Okay, so what does that mean? Cannabinoids have antioxidant properties, protect the leaves and flowering structures from ultraviolet radiation. So, you're protecting your skin from these UV rays. Cannabinoids neutralize the harmful free radicals generated by UV rays, protecting cells. So let's see, cannabinoids. How do you write cannabinoids short? Right, noids, right, cannabinoids. So those are, the 65 to 80 active substances in marijuana. They neutralize harmful free radicals generated by UV rays. So neutralize harmful free radicals generated by the sun. So the sun generates new free radical cells, I guess, or molecules, and then the cannabinoids neutralize them. So they kill them. They tell them you die. So any of these free radicals that are generated by the sun, the cannabinoids tell them they cause aging, cancer, and they impair healing. So antioxidants found in plants have long been promoted as natural supplements to prevent free radical harm. So antioxidants, these are good things, right? I think green tea has antioxidants in it. Laboratories have also produced cannabinoids. Synthetic THC, marketed as dronabinol, Marinol, right? That's the prescription marijuana, and Nablinone something says, I don't know, THC analog, both FDA-approved drugs for the treatment of severe nausea and wasting syndrome. Some clinicians have found them helpful in off-label treatment of chronic pain, migraine, and other serious conditions. Many other synthetic cannabinoids are used in animal research, and some have a potency up to 600 times that of THC. Okay, so I'm just reading actually that anybody can read an article and just kind of that's where you start, right? You start reading, and then you keep reading, then you read some more, and then you read some more, and then once you're done reading, you got it. You read. Okay, so let's see. In general, let's see. I'm doing, this is a Kentucky hemp series. I'm doing a second wind of it, right? So I went ahead and did 6 or 7 videos, but this is going to be another bunch of videos. It's already 15 minutes, but it's going to be, there's a whole bunch of stuff actually. It's like 10 pages long, and I know that like each page is like a minute or 2 or 3, so 10 pages, that could be like at least 30 minutes of stuff. And actually, I don't know, I have a long introduction, and plus I like to review a lot of stuff. So let's see. The main things, I guess, from the last lectures is that we need, it's good that hemp is legal in Kentucky, so we can start raising it. The Tuscarora people, they were the hemp gatherers, so they've been, hemp has been in America for a really long time. It's been in Kentucky. Kentucky is very suitable to raising hemp. They can raise it in the hills, on the sides, anywhere else. We had started raising hemp actually in 1775. Immediately, as soon as they had got here, the French and the Spanish had started raising it too. The Chinese started raising it, 3,000 years ago. So it's been in use for quite some time, and it's got over 25,000 uses. And since Kentucky has legalized hemp, and it has legalized one type of medical marijuana, which is CBD, but it's kind of like it was a fig leaf to stop full-blown medical marijuana from being legalized. So only CBD, cannabinol, was the only thing that was passed. THC was not. So just because the kid might get high off of it, they're not going to let it be prescribed to them, because they will, they'll enjoy it. And so these are Christians who basically don't want pain to go away from anybody that might enjoy the benefits, of the high, while also getting the drug itself to fix their ailments. So that's what's important to me, is not, whether you're getting pleasure out of the thing, but whether or not you get well, whether or not you get better. So if you're sick, then you need to get better. And if marijuana helps you do that, marijuana, hemp, any part of it, you have, I think, 66 to 80 different substances that are turned on, that are active, cannabinoids. So you have 60 or so, 66, I think, or so cannabinoids that could possibly be the cure for cancer or Alzheimer's or the other many things that you have out there. So there's 66 different cannabinoids that people could check out. THC and CBD are the main two. I've been able to find like 9 subgroups, but there's 66. So any one of those is kind of like the tropical rainforest, right? There's like 27,000, I don't know, like a whole bunch of just species being made extinct just because we have to use paper, and they're burning, it's just easier to clear forest and make paper that way than it is to raise hemp over and over again. But that is a renewable resource that you can save the rainforest if you raise hemp exclusively just for paper. So what is the reason why we're not doing this? Why is all the paper just 0.05% of all paper in the world is hemp? Why is hemp paper such a small proportion of all the paper resources? Why are we just burning down rainforests? Any of those those new it's selfish to think about, but any of those like frogs or different bugs or whatever could have the cure for cancer in it. So these we could, at the very least, it could be good for scientific progress, but we're just wiping out all these new species, these new plants and animal species, because we just need to use a whole bunch of paper when we could be using hemp. So hemp could save the world, but it could very directly save the deforestation. It could save a whole bunch of trees that are being cut down, and it could save the rainforest. So hemp paper, I think that's definitely a possible route to go. I think the medicinal effects of hemp actually is like one of the most promising avenues in it, because it's already shown to cure cancer in mice, and it's shown to shrink tumors, and it's shown to increase memory, and it's been shown to do a whole bunch of positive things. Plus, you know, the hungry, happy, sleepy, those are the benefits of the actual drug. So directly, that is an appetite stimulation. So for people that bulimia or anorexic people, they can get, you know, something to eat, or they can also for people that have just had chemotherapy, it's hard to eat and hard to get your energy back. But if you smoke marijuana, then you are more likely to want to eat, you know, something new. You get the munchies, right? And so if you have chemotherapy, you'll be more likely, you'll be more out to be able to able to get the munchies if you're just had kids. Also, you can raise a garden, and by raising a garden, there's something, you know, some sort of natural benefits to that with being connected to the world and being connected to the earth. So that would help with your chemotherapy. Now, I have an introduction for all this, so that's I was going to read the article for a little bit just to kind of say that anybody can read an article and they can pick up the knowledge for themselves. You listen to me, you only retain 5%. If you would have read it yourself, you would have retained 10%. Sometimes it's hard to read things on your own. I did pick a good section, even though it was very complicated. And I had fun doing it. I don't know if and plus, like, it's usually the last videos of mine that I'm just kind of on fire. I know I've already reviewed the material. I've said the material several times, and so I'm on it. You know, I'm on point. So I know this particular thing, that particular thing. The more I talk about it, the better and more of an expert I become. I'm going to cut this video off short. Next video is going to be about Kentucky stuff, actually. Okay, so there's going to be some Kentucky nationalism. I'm talking about Kentucky hemp. And the reason why it's focused here is because we just legalized it, but we're Kentucky people, so we actually have a long tradition of when it comes to inventions and creating things, and I want to talk about those traditions. And there's also some myths and lies about some things that we have created when we actually haven't created. There's also the massacre at Burnt Station. That's pretty wild. That's actually just a story. I think that I will not do that. Okay, so I would just do the Kentucky inventions. This is who we are, coming up for the next video. So Kentucky Hemp Lectures series carrying on.